Okay, so I got my little small file here. It's a half round, so it's got a sharp edge, which we need because we want to get. Let me get these two screws out of there before I lose them. Now I still keep my fingers over here, the oil pump gear, so I don't push them out. So just get right inside here in the groove, and we file on that lightly. You can hear it kind of dragging when I first started on the sharp edge. And I think it's gone now. And see, now it kind of goes in there a little bit easier. Still a little snug in there, but at least that's kind of going in. So I got about 80% of it out, so let's go in here and see if I can get the rest of it. This doesn't happen very often, but as you can tell, when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, see how the key now, where is the camera at? See how the key now slides in and out a lot easier? So I might actually be able to put this thing together this time. Okay, we're going to rotate back around when we get to it. Doesn't matter how many of these motors you do, every one you do has new problems. These are all brand new parts. Most of the times that makes them harder, not easier. Alright. Oh, I screwed up already. You know what I did wrong? So I forgot to put the gear in there, see? There we go. Alright. File a little burr off the edge of the key there, make it a little easier. Alright, so let's see how long it takes this time to do it. It's about 2 seconds. Okay, get the camera and see it. Okay, see how the key is sitting in there flat in the keyway? So all you do is just slide it right in like that. And it's in. See how easy that works when the burrs are gone? Of course, if I were pre-checked that like I probably should have, I would have already known that, right? Oh well. Nobody's perfect, including me. Okay, here is our 90-degree snap ring pliers. You see I get snap ring in there. So basically you stick it around, I come around the back side. I open up just as little as possible. Until it pops on. It's on, but it's not quite on yet. And you slightly push it on with the key, with the screwdriver here. And it's on. But see how it's loose on the shaft? It's because I oversprung it. Or the snap ring groove is cut too deep. Could be either one of those. Either way, I don't like it, so I'm going to take this thing off. So when you take the pressure off, you can see there's a big groove in there now, because it's been overexpanded. So I take my pair of channel locks here and I squeeze it back a little bit. Now, every manufacturer will tell you not to do this. If I use my little small channel locks, it'll probably work better, but of course I'm doing it off camera, I guess there. The problem is you got to slightly twist it to get the two eyelets to close up on you. I can't hold it with my fingers, so get these in here. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out where I can show you what I'm doing here. The camera's not focusing on me, so alright, where's the camera at? I need to get it focused on something besides what I'm doing. Okay, so you can see how now I over-crunched it, so now the two things are overlapping each other. So it's got some pre-tension on it now. It's got a little bit of a twist in it too, which I don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little twist out of it if I can. Okay. Now we got our sharp side here is snap ring pliers side. Okay, so now we got these back on there again. Let's see, shove my gear all the way back on. So I shoved the shaft back through all the way again. And we're going to try this again. There we go. Okay, this side's on, this side's off, so I got to push it on the back side. See that popped? And now we have tension on the clip. It's not a lot of tension, but there is tension on it. Alright. So that's all stuff that you're not supposed to do that we just did anyway. So now it works better. Okay, now we got that all on there. Pump is turning. You notice I turned the snap ring 180 degrees from where the keyway is, way over here. So that way, at least now it doesn't line up. After run it might line up, but not now. Okay, let's go back up over here. See where I'm at. Okay, now we take our cover we had laying over here off to the side out of the way. So we got our gasket sealed already on it. Let me go ahead and assemble this up. Now if you have an earlier style oil pump, you're going to have to tighten these two screws first. If the oil lines come out the top, it goes across those holes. This one here doesn't matter because it's a bottom feed pump. So you put those two in first, and you come up here to the ones with the slots, and you get them last. Don't just shove the bolt right through the gasket. If the gasket's in the way, kind of rotate the bolt and ease it in. You don't want to tear the gasket and cause a leak if it tears it. Okay, let's go ahead and bring down the center bolt here first. Just get it down where it just touches or almost touches. Oop, too much. Get the top two bolts. These ones here are going in the holes tight for whatever reason. It's almost like they got Loctite or something on them, but they don't. I don't Loctite my oil pump bolts. I tighten the shit out of them. You don't have to worry about them being loose. Okay, I always take the oil pump and jiggle it a little bit. So, I don't know if you can see it moving a little bit, but it moves up. And I just kind of center it between the jiggle point, and that's when I tighten it down to. So bring those two in, bring the middle two, just go back and forth, side to side, and let's get the bottom one here, what the hell, and get this one here. Alright, so those are in there. You can see a little bit of sealer oozing out right there, just wipe that off. The oil pump still turns on my finger over here a little bit. See, it's a little snug, but it turns. Okay, now I can go ahead and tighten these down. go over here. And give it the appropriate torque, which is whatever I can get with my short ratchet. That would be the appropriate torque. I'll come back and check it. That one's tight, and that one's tight. You can also see this long Allen actually twists a little bit as I torque on it, so you know I'm torquing it. Okay, so now we got our pump in. Over here we can see. Okay, we got our gear down in here. There it is. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Not really. You come in like this, you can see. So you can see how this still rotates. That's, if they rotate this easily, that's pretty damn good. That's definitely a good sign. Now if you see the shaft, we got two keyways on here we got to put on. So we got to go ahead and get those. Now if you look at the shaft here, you see there's a little small key in the front and a longer one in the back. I mean the other way around. You got a small key way up in here, which is your standard oil pump size key. And then this here is your standard cam drive gear key. So somewhere around an 80, 81 they made these both, one of each. Before that they were both this big key on both sides. So I go ahead and dig up those two keys and I can go ahead and put these two gears on there. So let me go grab those things now. Okay, we'll go ahead and put the drive gears in here. So we already got the one key in there. The gears themselves are, they have a bevel on one side and a flat on the other. The bevel goes on the inside of the, where the shaft is, here where the fillet is in it. So you slip this in. Now this is going to hit on the oil pump drive gear that's already installed below it. So we push on that, we line up the keyway, and then we slowly rotate as we push it in. And then it just slides right in like that. If you run it backwards, it comes right off, so the rotation keeps it forward. And we have the spacer right here. Goes on next. Our other key right here. Then we got our drive gear. It's got the keyway in it. So just line that up with the key we already just put in there. This key's kind of loose, so you got to hold it in slightly. And it slides in. This here's our nut. This is a left-handed nut, so it's got backwards threading to it. So you tighten it up by going in reverse. You got a little tool right here that there's two flats on it that match the nut that turns it. And you just use the zip gun to tighten it up. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to use this gear yet or not because I have to check the fitment when I put the cam in it. So make sure you go backwards on this one. So left-handed thread tightens it. Reverse in this case. Okay, go ahead and rotate. Make sure everything's still running true on your crank and no binding. And the oil pump's turn, which it is. So take care of that problem. Okay, now we go up here to our oil pump. Go ahead and put this together. I already did this once, but I had the camera off, so we're just going to put some fresh oil up in here. On that one. There's our little ball right here. That goes on the inside hole. Our plunger, which is right over here, goes on the outer one. That just slips in. This is our spring for the inner one. Slides right in there. And then we have our pressure spring for the plunger, for our pressure return. It doesn't bind up, doesn't do it right. There it goes. Put a lip on it. And we have our plug for that. So I get my screwdriver and we'll tighten these up. Okay, back at it. More interruptions. Alright, here's our tappet screen. You got a screen, make sure you clean that before you put it back, and we got the spring that holds it. So they go right up in here. So this is where the black plug goes I was just putting on the oil pump. So goes in the right spot. Make sure your O-rings are good on there. Okay, I go ahead and use a screwdriver knocker here is what I use. So this is my impact knocker with my big screwdriver blade. I don't like these coming out easily, so I just pin them in a little bit. It's a little bit harder to get to on this one because the fitting's in the way, but just gotta locate it right. Okay, so those are all in. So that takes care of the oil pump part there for now. Next on the top side. On the bottom side we haven't put the fittings in here yet. So these here are the fittings. Let's see how this works down the bottom here. See a little better maybe, I'm not sure. A little light on the subject might help. Too low for the oil pump now. There we go. Okay, there's our bottom. Okay, we got our fittings right here. We got 2 90s and 2 straights. I'm going to use my toothpaste here, which is a Teflon pipe sealant. That's what I use to seal stuff with. I don't like Teflon tape all that much. So that's why I call it toothpaste, that's what it looks like. So you don't need too much of it on the thread here, just a little bit. Nice little ring on it. And put our fitting on there. Looks like about a 1/2 inch. It is. Okay, this is our return fitting on the inside edge. So this is going to go forward to our filter. Go ahead and put the straight fitting on the end of that now. Go ahead and goop that up. Now if these fittings are not tight and not move, then they'll loosen up and be loose. So you got to make sure you tighten stuff up. You can see how that fitting at 90 degree got real tight right when I wanted it to. If it didn't, I would have to go around another turn. Okay. Use a ratchet for this to get it quick, and I'll switch over to the combination wrench. Same thing, you want to make sure this stuff is tight. That's pretty good. Okay, I just rotate a little bit more until it's going forward. About to there. So it's going straight forward now. Not sure if you can see. Whoop. I'm doing good until I drop the camera. Alright, so we got the fitting now going directly forward because our filter comes up off these 2 holes here, so they're all just going to go forward. Now this I might angle in slightly, but I'll wait until I get the line on it first. So for now, that one's on. Let me go ahead and do the one next to it. Same thing, you put a light layer of goop on here. Make sure you wipe off the excess on the inside. You don't want that inside your oil pump if you can avoid it. Come on, there we go. Now these 90-degree fittings are cut away so they will turn next to each other like this. Regular 90 degrees don't do that. So it's starting to get tight. Right there. And put the straight fitting right here. Alright, that's pretty tight. Alright, so now we got our two oil pump fittings on there. One goes back to the tank, one goes forward to filter. And another one will go back from here, it'll go back to your, go all the way back to the tank. Feed is always the outside edge, return is always the inside edge. Breather's over here, and the vent line is right there. So all your standard Harley from 36 to 99 is all the same feed on how they do that. So pretty simple. So then we got that part done, so we move on to the cam cover area next.